But here's what's happening in Beijing. It's been happening all day. 3.5 million people got a message last night telling them they had to get a test. Today they'll have to get one, on Wednesday they'll have to get one, on Friday. So this is coming to an end. They have been getting through it, but this has been all day long, these huge queues here in Beijing. The reason for that is because they detected just 19 cases the other day, 29 reported today, and an update to that. These are very small numbers, but they don't want to take any chances because of what's been happening in Shanghai. What happened in Shanghai was a very similar situation. They said everyone has to do this mass testing, mass PCR testing. The city went into lockdown to enable that, and it never came out of it. It's still in lockdown, a very strict lockdown, coming up into its 5th week now. And the problem with Shanghai is that, of course, there are those deaths you mentioned, 51, a new record since the early days of the pandemic in Wuhan back in 2020. But the case numbers are stubbornly high, around 20,000. They're not going up, they're not coming down. So it looks like that lockdown is going to persist. And that's why there is a lot of anxiety here in Beijing. Are we going to see the same thing? Are we going to see a lockdown? A lot of people have been preparing for that. They've been going to supermarkets, emptying the shelves. The government has said there's enough food, people don't have to worry. But having seen the scenes in Shanghai, those food shortages with rotten food being delivered by the government, people here don't want to take the same chance. And the question now is, a lot of people think a lockdown is coming. Will it be a short, sharp one like we've seen in other cities in China, Shenzhen, Guangzhou down in the south, they had mass testing and lockdowns, or will it be that more permanent lockdown we're seeing in Shanghai? But this is a big deal for China. Beijing is the capital. It's always been the most protected place in China. It's very hard to travel here over the past few days. They're still dealing with this outbreak. And this is because, of course, China is pursuing that dynamic zero COVID policy. It hasn't got the vaccination rate of other countries. So what it's doing 2.5 years into the pandemic is mass testing like this, mass lockdowns affecting hundreds of millions of people, and no end in sight to that, really.